waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. On the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. On the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I
What's up, fans family? Welcome back to TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Please hit that like button on your way in the building. We are live here 10:30 a.m. on a Monday morning. Y'all make sure you hit that like button so we can go ahead and get started. Haven't been live for a few days, so the notifications probably won't get sent out. But if you punch the like button, they will. Shout out to the Mod Squad. Shout out to all the members of the channel. I greatly appreciate every single one of you all. And more than anything, everyone who is subscribed to TDPHINSTALK. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe right now to TDPHINSTALK. We're on our road to 25,000. And it's definitely been a journey, man. It's crazy, but I'm enjoying every bit of the ride. Listen, we got a lot to discuss this morning. We're going to talk about a few things dealing with the Miami Dolphins. Outside of that, we're also going to basically finish not finish, but knock out some of the QB tier list as well. Okay, so we're gonna do a lot of those things. Horsey Head in the building. I see you, homie. The Bahamas. What's up, man? Hope all is well. Chef Jew, love you, brother. As always, man. JD the Great, California. What's going on? Hot Dog 2280. Scott Jackson, word of mouth in the building. Y'all already know what time it is. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get started. First and foremost, just some quick little hitters that we don't really need to talk about much. Tyreek Hill reaffirming the fact that he's in Miami because of money. He was at like a jersey signing or something like that, and a guy who had a Watson Cleveland Browns jersey on. Tyreek basically told him, "I tried to come to y'all, but y'all didn't want to pay me." So he definitely he had, I mean, there was a lot of other options Tyreek wanted to come to, but at the end of the day, the Miami Dolphins were the only team willing to cough up the money that we coughed up. I know it was very, very I know it's very, very controversial. Um, Whenever I say Tyreek Hill is overpaid, people don't understand you're overpaid if no one else is willing to give you the amount of money that the one team did give you. Nobody, and I do mean nobody, was willing to give him the amount of money that the Miami Dolphins were willing to give. Even the Jets weren't willing to give that much. They were out on it. They were trying to pursue him, but they were not willing to give that amount of money. I know people look at the fact that he balled out and, you know, he was so amazing. But at the end of the day, I'm sorry, y'all. Ain't no wide receiver in the NFL worth $30 million a year. But if you can get it, go get it. I'm all for it. I'm all for another man getting his money. But the reality is, these teams is paying this excessive amount of money for wide receivers. I just hope that it can turn into a Super Bowl. And so far, it ain't look like it's working that way. So time will tell. I just pray that we don't go through a whole nother 2-3 years of paying high dollars for nothing. Like like people, do we realize, like, say we don't win a Super Bowl in the next 2 years, say we don't go to a Super Bowl, say we don't even go to an AFC championship, say we don't even go to a divisional round. Do we realize that once again the Miami Dolphins would have spent all this money for nothing? But the goal is to go to AFC Championship. The goal is to go to a Super Bowl. The goal is to have those accomplishments. We're not going to say that we aren't going to. It's just very risky whenever we put all these hopes on one roster and then at the end of the day hope that it works out. That's where I am as a Dolphin fan today. I feel like we've taken a lot of risks and have been doing a lot of gambling and unwise gambling. Now, do people that gamble win? Sometimes. They lose more often than they win, though. But right now, we're in a state of we just hope that we hit. We hope that we win. That's where we are as a team. As risky and as bad as the odds are for us, we just hope that we hit. And as a Dolphin fan, that's all we have to hold on to. And the reality is, I get frustrated for this reason, because I don't want to feel like I hope. I want to feel confident that I can beat anybody. My team can beat anybody. Now, don't get me wrong, Dolphin fans all around the world right now, we could beat anyone if we're healthy. There is no evidence of that. That's Dolphin fans everywhere, right? Not everywhere, but a large group of Dolphin fans right now in their mentality, if we're healthy, we can beat anyone. But there is no evidence of that. There is no evidence of that. But we use it as evidence because we beat the Lions. We beat the Bears. We beat the Browns. We beat Pittsburgh. We beat Houston. We beat the bad Patriots now. We beat the Jets at the end of the season. And that wasn't even healthy, so I won't even count that. But 6 of our wins, 6 out of 9 of our wins last year. Let's say 8 wins, 6 out of 8, because again, the Jets, we weren't healthy. But 6 out of 8 of our wins last year was against teams that doesn't even matter. But I believe we feel like we could beat anybody because we beat Baltimore, a team that was not good when their quarterback went out last year. And the Buffalo Bills early in the season in a clock management game with a depleted secondary. We feel we can beat anybody if healthy because of a Baltimore and a Buffalo game. Because we can't feel that way because of the Lions. We can't feel that way because of the Bears. We can't feel that way because of the Browns, the Texans, Pittsburgh, the Patriots. You can't feel that way because of that. And the even sadder part about all 6 of those games, only one of them we won in impressive fashion. All the other ones, other team was in striking distance. So that's where we are as fans right now. Some fans feel that we could beat anybody if we're healthy. And I'm not there. I'm not there. Because hoping that we're healthy is an unrealistic expectation. Because as a Dolphin fan, when is the last time this team has finished the season healthy? Well, technically no team finishes the season healthy, but y'all know what I mean. When is the last time we didn't have a lot of injuries? When is the last time a Dolphin fan can remember that we haven't had a lot of injuries? No, seriously. Seriously. When is the last time a Dolphin fan can remember we didn't have a lot or significant injuries that we pointed to in a season? Like when no, like try. Because I don't know it all, and maybe you all do. Tell me, when is the last time? We can't talk about 2019, the year that we scrapped the whole roster and was rebuilding. We were destined to be the worst team in the league, and we failed at that. Flores, I get it. When is the last time? 2020, we were healthy. Were we healthy in 2020? Wasn't that Gesicki's shoulder year? Wasn't that Devontae Parker's in and out year? Maybe I'm wrong. Xavier Howard, Byron Jones at the beginning of the season, laboring injuries. We said if our secondary was healthy for the first half of the season, we would have made the playoffs, all that stuff. Just curious. Just curious. But that's my issue. I've been hearing nothing but in the national media and Dolphins community. If Tua can stay healthy, why are people writing a narrative if Tua can stay healthy instead of saying if the team could stay fairly healthy? If the team can stay fairly healthy. Shout out to the homie Taiwan Wilkinson with the donation, showing love to this channel as he always does. Thank you, sir. Greatly appreciate it, man. Salute to you. Appreciate your content, TD. You're the only real Dolphin YouTuber I watch. I just saw Doug Tua film breakdown, and all I saw was all highlights. He showed no low lights. You show the good and the bad. Yeah, Doug, my boy, though. I love Doug. But everybody got their style. I don't know how he does his film studies. I've never seen one of his film studies, so I don't know how he does it. I just do the whole game so we don't leave it up for interpretation. That's the one thing I don't believe in with film study is clipping, going over specific clips. Here's a film study of these 4 plays. I could show you if I was to take 4 plays out of every game, I could show you why Tua is the worst quarterback in the NFL, and I could show you why he's the best quarterback in the NFL. But when you put the entire game together, from start to finish, you get a more accurate assessment of what you're seeing. So, but everybody have their way of doing things. But yeah, I'm not the only real Dolphin YouTuber. We're all real because we're in the flesh. Nah, I know what you mean, man. I'm just trying to figure out a way to just show love to everybody, That's just where I'm at with it. Big mistake not going after Jackson. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a little bit too. But yeah, back to the monologue. That's where I'm at as a Dolphin fan. Breeder G in the building said, I'm real TD. Let me tell y'all something. Do y'all see Breeder G in the green, the member? Y'all about to see me rip one of my members apart. Okay. So, but he ain't no member. He my brother, like real life brother. Like, okay. Let's just get that straight. Okay. I say a lot of people, my brother and all this and that. This is like real life brother, living together at times. And this is my brother, but I'm about to rip him apart because I'm so sick and tired of him. This fake Dolphin fan. Listen, y'all, he's a Cowboy fan. Let's get that straight. Every time the Cowboys do something bad, he always texts me, I'm back, baby. Let's go Dolphins. And every time the Dolphins do something bad, he over it. Man, listen, man. I listen, y'all. I ain't gonna lie, it's just funny to me. It's just funny. Been here since 85. Breeder G, man. Listen, man. I'm exposing him live, all right? The reality is he's a Dallas Cowboys fan who, when it's convenient, likes the Dolphins. Okay? That's who he is. I'm exposing my brother live on live YouTube right now, all right? Hey, listen, man. But hey, when it's time to rep for the Dolphins, he rep, but only when it's going good. So we take the fair weather fans too. We take them, all right. Oh man, I told him I was gonna get him. Man, anyway, man, let me get back to it, man. He done threw me off. All right, so I'm just throwing. Listen, the hope. He said, "You're a hater. I'm reporting you." Oh my God. Listen, all right, man. Let me get back. Okay, so that's my issue with our team right now. I always tell y'all there's levels to everything. People say, oh, if you guess it this way, you're going to always end up right at sometimes and different things like that when it comes to the Dolphins. But as a fan, I mean, anybody who's followed this channel long enough, you know that as a fan of the Miami Dolphins that I am, we're going to the Super Bowl every year. As a fan, y'all see me around July, August, I start revving up. Woo! I start getting my fandom together. But as somebody who is an analyst, a personality, a caricature on YouTube, my analysis, I try to be as honest as I possibly can. And as a fan, with the right luck, we can go to a Super Bowl. And I really mean that as a fan, with the right luck. As an analyst, somebody just who's being impartial of the Miami Dolphins, this is highly unlikely to be a Super Bowl team this year. Didn't say we can't be a Super Bowl team this year, but highly unlikely. First of all, there is no guarantee for no team, regardless of what roster you put together, that you're going to win a Super Bowl. The Eagles will show you that. I don't care what anyone says. I personally believe the Eagles had the best roster in the NFL this year. Now, it still served them right to get to the Super Bowl, but they ultimately lost. And they did have a lot of fortune on their side. They didn't suffer as many injuries and all things of that nature, but they also didn't have a ton of injury-prone players, or shall I say prone to injury players. And when you break down why, as an analyst, do you feel that this team is highly unlikely to win a Super Bowl, it keeps going back to the exact same thing that I continue to tell you all, that first of all, you need to look at how this team compares to other teams. What do we have that they don't, and what do they have that we don't? What are the attributable effects to that? And let me break that down a little further to give you an example. Let's take the Eagles as an example. The Eagles arguably had a top three, and I can argue with you that it was the best O-line in football. What does having the best O-line in football mean? It doesn't mean that your quarterback will never get sacked. It doesn't mean that your quarterback will never get hurried. It doesn't mean that your running game is going to be superior all the time. It doesn't mean that you're going to always never have a flaw, as everyone hits the like button. But what it means, if you have the best O-line in the NFL, it means that your O-line did their job and their responsibilities more often than your opponents. Now, any given week, a different O-line may have been better or whatever, but overall throughout the season, your O-line executed at a higher level than everyone else. Now, why does that make a difference? Say that there are 60 offensive plays in this game, and the Eagles O-line were flawless on 52 of them. And on 8 plays, they made a mistake. They got hurt, sacked. He fumbled. They didn't give him time to throw when it was a wide open touchdown that could have been had, whatever the reason may be. The difference of the matter of 52 out of 60 is when you talk about the Miami Dolphins this year, our O-line wasn't putrid, but those 60 plays, you might get off 43 out of 60. That's still a lot of plays to be getting off, and you can make something happen. But this team is too reliant on the big play. If you really look at all the games we won, the difference of this season and the Flores regime was the one big play. Tyreek splitting the defenders deep, caught it. We drove in for the touchdown. Waddle streaking down the field, caught it. The difference in yardage per game was the 60 yards. One big play. And when you go to all the big games, all the games that we won, there was one big play. Some multiple, don't get me wrong, like Baltimore, there were multiple big plays at the end. But the difference of this year and last year was the one big play. But teams like the Eagles, when we got 43 out of 60 and they got 52 out of 60, they got 9 more opportunities to get more yards and more plays. That's what an O-line does. That's what a great O-line does. It gives you more opportunities to execute what you're trying to get across overall. It doesn't mean that we still can't end with a higher result. It just means that we have to execute even at a higher level in our limited capacity than they do, which once again puts you at a disadvantage. You have to always overcompensate. You have to overcompensate to be able to have better results. Same thing with their D-line. They had an amazing D-line, top 5 in the NFL. Some would argue the best in the NFL. I don't think it was, but it was top 5. Same thing, 60 plays. Out of 60 plays, their D-line may have disrupted 25 plays. Our D-line may have disrupted 14. That's the difference on the field. They disrupt 25 plays, which didn't allow the other team to get the maximum opportunity they could have had out of it. And we disrupt 14, 15. That's 10 less plays. That's 10 more plays. They probably got off what they wanted. These are the differences. Now, why do I start with the O-line and the D-line? Here's why. Because I don't talk about our advantage at receiver. And it ain't like this massive advantage, but I don't talk about the advantage at receiver. You know why? Because the O-line's disruption or lack of execution, do you see where I'm going with this? Their receivers are just as productive because they got 9 more opportunities because of what the O-line does. See, the wide receivers are dependent on others. The wide receiver is dependent on the quarterback. The wide receiver is also dependent on the O-line to create the time needed for them to really get in their routes. So although you may on paper have an advantage in that position, the O-line can kneel that irrelevant unless you run an offense very similar to the Miami Dolphins where you're getting the ball out very quick. But against a team like that, you're not getting as much deep down the field as much. You may dink and dunk and slant all day, but you're not getting the more depth routes as much. But this is why you got to pay attention to all these other teams in the NFL. I just talked about the O-line and the D-line and how you render the wide receivers irrelevant. I don't even need to go into anything else when you talk about the Dolphins because there's nothing else on the roster that actually stands out as a unit. There is nothing else on our roster that actually stands out on a unit last year nor the year coming up. I know a lot of people in their mind and they're going to be thinking, well, our secondary, what about our secondary? Many people don't understand that we're about to go to a more consistent zone basis. We are about to play a lot more zone than we played man under the previous, can I say 2 regimes? Flores and Boyer regime. Fangio does not run as much man coverage as people think. It's all about shifting and disguising coverage, showing you one look pre-snap and switching into another post-snap. Correct, Captain Swole. This is a cover 4, cover 6 system. But there's a lot of shifting. And once again, we are an underload. Fangio likes to underload. Overload being on the strong side of the offense, we overload, and underload, he likes to put the actual linebacker on the weak side and why does he do that? Because a lot of times that's just the start of the play. We underload pre-snap, but once post-snap comes, everything typically shifts. Let me give you an example. Say we underload on the left side. Take your view from an offensive perspective and you're looking at the defense and they're underload on the left side. On the weak side, there's no tight end, but they got the linebacker or the nickel out on that side. Opposite of where all the action probably will be. When they snap the ball, that linebacker on the weak side is going to jump back in the corner. That corner on that left side is going to jump back to safety. That safety on the left side is going to take the Tampa middle linebacker in the middle potentially. The linebacker that would be Tampa might go out to the right safety. The right safety may drop down into the right corner. The right corner may come down to the on a blitz. That's how this defense operates. Everything is shifting. You got a pre-snap look. You hike the ball. The guy you thought that was going to be on defense there is now there. But what this offense gives up is what no one talks about. This offense is designed to not give up of course, every defense gives up. And I keep saying offense, I mean defense. This offense is designed, it doesn't want to give up the deep ball. It doesn't want to give up the deep ball. And what a lot of people don't know about this defense, the reason why it became more so famous is because what it did to Patrick Mahomes. It started to frustrate Patrick Mahomes because what was Patrick Mahomes' biggest flaw early in his career? He always wanted the big play. Even if he held on to the ball too long, extending plays, he's always looking for the big play. Nobody talks about the shift that Patrick Mahomes has gone through the last 2 years. Remember, both years he started the season struggling, but then he figured it out in both years, which makes him great. This is what makes a great quarterback great. When they got your number and then you switch into what they're giving you and you become great at that. Teams start taking the deep ball away from Patrick Mahomes. And Patrick Mahomes has learned now how to settle into the dink and dunk game more. And now this system doesn't faze Patrick Mahomes. Matter of fact, he thrives in it even more. But what I don't like is the fact that we now have a league that is more shows trying to shift to a dink and dunk anyway. And some coaches are letting guys like Tyreek Hill, Jefferson, and guys like that dictate the coverage. When most of the NFL has turned into a dink and dunk league. And historically, Fangio's system will give you two things. It will give you strong side rushes, and it will also give you dink and dunk passes. It's also what you would call a bend but don't break. And it's relying on heavily one of the biggest factors, organic pass rush. Organic pass rush. Now, everyone who's adopted the Vic Fangio system, they were some of the worst defenses in the NFL last year and the year before. Nobody talking about that right now, but Fangio's the orchestrator of it. Let's see what he does with it this year. But nobody's talking about they were some of the worst defenses in the NFL. All of them hovered between 22 and 29 or something like that ranked. Why? Because teams have figured out how to just continue to take what that defense gives. But once again, the one thing the defense will not give is the deep ball. It does not give the deep ball. It is relying on you to make a mistake eventually before you can get down there. Instead of taking 3 to 4 plays to score a touchdown, you could score a touchdown, but we're going to make sure that you do it in 12 plus plays. And in those 12 plus plays, statistically, we're going to bet on the odds that you get a false start and make it harder. You get a holding and make it harder. You make a mistake and make it harder. You fumble because of a lot more possessions, catch, tackle. So many things can happen in 12 plays that can't happen in 4. That's the mentality of a bend but don't break defense, ladies and gentlemen. And what kills you more than anything are penalties. Let me give you the best example. We won a game this way this year. Let's go to the Lions game. Our defense absolutely got obliterated. They could not stop the Lions. The Lions got everything they wanted in that game offensively. Why did the Lions lose? They only lost because their last 2 possessions. Statistically, you can't remain perfect like that the whole game, even if we're giving it to you. The last 2 drives, what happened to the Lions? The first drive, they had a 2nd and 30. And we know how that ended up, punted the ball. In the last drive, they had a 3rd and 35. Why? Because the false start, the holding, every penalty they got came in those last 2 drives. We could not stop them. The only thing that we were able to do in that game successful was cause them to have those penalties, and it really wasn't us causing it. False start, holding, and all of that stuff. So it's a dangerous game to play because you're giving them everything, but you're relying on them to make their own mistakes. But our defense can also make some plays, typically against the younger quarterbacks who are reading it pre-snap and throwing the ball anyway, and post-snap it's something else and got them. It can create turnovers in the secondary for the young quarterbacks because they're trying to read pre-snap, but it's not even what we're running. Whatever you see pre-snap typically isn't what you're running in this system. Now, the biggest issue I have with the defense this year is in Vic Fangio's system, this man likes to send 4 linemen to the quarterback. He rarely blitzes. You heard him in an interview. I don't want to blitz because I have to. I want to blitz because I want to. In Flores' system, there's a reason he said that, and y'all need to pay attention. He was basically, he wasn't throwing shade at Flores, but he was exposing what we were doing on defense before. I don't want to blitz because I have to. I want to blitz because I want to. What Dolphin fans don't realize is that we had to blitz the last 2 years. We had to show a zero look. It's the only way we could get pressure on the quarterback. We haven't got organic pass rush on quarterbacks at all. When I say at all, I don't mean to be absolute. Of course, sometimes you do. But some of the lowest levels in the NFL, organically, the Miami Dolphins players don't get to the quarterback when we only send 4 and we're showing 4. We got to show 7 to confuse the old line. Like, I don't know who I got. I don't know who coming and who not. We got to show 7 just to give a delay for one of our guys to win their battle. But anytime we lined up 4 to 5, we rarely, and I mean rarely, get there. And let me help y'all understand something. There ain't no magic scheme if you're lining up 4 on the line and you're sending them. Well, Fangio will fix the organic pass rush. How do you fix the organic pass rush? You are who you are. You are what you are. And that's the biggest concern I have on this defense, but nobody talks about it. All they think is we brought in big name guys. Chubb, man, so far in Miami has been a failure. Now, it's early. I'm not going to mark him as a failure, but I'm sorry. For the money that he's making and the production he gave for the second half of the season, he wasn't even close to what he was in Denver in the first half of the season. He solely made the Pro Bowl because of that. Emmanuel Ogbah was hurt, but nobody want to talk about the 10 games that he did play before he got hurt. The man was literally, I'll just say it, trash. The play was trash. Absolutely boo-boo garbage. Barely ever got to the quarterback. I mean, he was terrible. Oh, well, Ogbah got hurt. When he come back, we going to be back to Ogbah was terrible when he played them first 9 whatever games. Absolutely terrible. Jalen Phillips, he can get some pressure, but he always just miss. Always just miss. Christian Wilkins ain't getting at no quarterback. He just dominant and run stopping and creating pressure up the middle. We'll take that. We ain't asking too much crazy stuff from the guys in the middle. Zyler, same thing. They doing their job. I mean, that's what you want them to do. But I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. The edge, Melvin Ingram, flashes on occasions. We don't have an organic pass rush. And in Fangio's system, let me tell you how the secondary and the pass rush work together. If the pass rush get in there, you're making the quarterback make quick decisions. When they make quick decisions, they're going off of their pre-snap read. And then when we snap the ball and we switch into something else, we create turnovers. And vice versa. When the secondary is guarding very well, then it give our guys time to get there. But if we want to go to the secondary, once again, teams will, if they scheme us correctly, which probably will happen later in the season, like probably after week 8, they start to realize what we're doing. When they do that, they're just going to dink and dunk. They're not going to worry about the secondary. The secondary ain't going to cover long enough. We're going to dink and dunk because this ain't a man. And another thing y'all need to keep in mind, this secondary that we brought in is strictly all man personnel. Don't forget that. What Flores brought in is a strictly man personnel. These guys are not good in zone, and they have proven that time and time again. Most of our defenders are primarily guys that we revere in man coverage. And now they got to transition in the zone. Now we're going to get a lot of staggered routes and different things like that. Let's see these new coverages, Fangio. Because what I'm trying to explain to people too is when Fangio comes in, he can fix this defense. But it's going to take time because he got to deal with what he has now. And then next year in the offseason, he's going to say, yeah, I need to replace him, and him because I need actually better zone covers than these guys. Yeah, I mean, and that's why we already went and got Ramsey. Ramsey going to be a zone guy. He can play zone. But that's it. Javon Holland, he ain't his best in zone. Javon Holland loved the man coverage because he can go get at the quarterback or freestyle. Now he just got to stay in his primary role in the zone. How many times last year when we ran zone, Holland made the tackle, but he was just out of place. The offensive player caught it and he hit him. Oh, good. You were there, but you were just late. But in our eyes, hey, that's a win because, he made the stop. He tackled him. He made the stop. Baby girl over here playing. Cater Kohu good in zone. Miss me with that. Every time that we raved about Cater Kohu, he was covering somebody crossing the field, and he got his hand on the ball. Man coverage. Sticking with his guy. I don't want to hear no Kohu good in zone. Now, you may go look at some ratings and it may say, oh, this player plays well in zone or whatever. Sometimes it has to do with the amount of snaps and it didn't come their way. And other times it has to do with the pressure that we got in the Z. Like, this is another thing. Even on PFF, right? When we ran a 0, some people don't realize we were rushing 7 at sometimes and sitting in the house. But we would have 4 guys in the secondary just playing the sticks. Y'all need to understand, even if you're in front of a man, that goes down his zone coverage because you got 5 eligible receivers on offense, but only 4 guys guarding them. And they're playing the sticks. That's zone coverage. So when we get there and the pressure get there and they throw the ball and they can't get nothing, all of our corners look good in zone on that. Somebody said no defense good in zone. You done lied. You done lied. You know a team that executes zone very well because they got the pass rush and the guys in the middle that fly around? Let me see if y'all know. Well, at least they did, but they done lost a lot of people. Let me see if y'all name the right team. You know one team who is they play a lot of zone coverage and you don't recognize it? There's 2 teams I know. 2 teams. Two teams I know for sure. Now, there's a few up-and-coming teams like the Jets and stuff like that, but there's two teams. San Francisco 49ers and the Tennessee Titans. And the Tennessee Titans is your blueprint. Tennessee Titans is your blueprint. You better go watch some of that Tennessee Titan film. They play zone. It's been but don't break. You're going to get a few things, but they know how to play zone. Vrabel know how to get his guys to play zone. And 49ers just always been good in it, but they've always had the exact personnel. But where do the 49ers lead the pack in their defense? The organic pass rush. Any zone could get stretched out and obliterated if you got 5 seconds. But the organic pass rush. You either need an organic pass rush and great safeties, and you could play zone, and you could deal with mediocrity in the middle. Just saying. Don't say nobody plays zone well. Now, the numbers, teams get a lot more in the zone because especially with the spot throwing that's happening in the NFL today. Especially with the spot throwing. You need cornerbacks. Yeah, like I said, pass rush and organic safety. Now, that's why the Ramsey and the David Long pickup is huge, and the other safety that we got. Man, I hope somebody don't lose their job, by the way. Well, I ain't going to say I hope they don't. The better player is the better player. But yeah. But that's my concern, y'all. That's why I compare us to other teams in the league. Now, some people will say, I want the Dolphins to be the best. So how do we become a team where we truly feel that we're a Super Bowl team? Well, first of all, let's talk about teams that feel that they could win a Super Bowl. Like I said, Dolphin fans feel like if we're healthy, we could win a Super Bowl, but I just explained to y'all why that's kind of a little biased. But name a few teams that their fan base knows without a shadow of a doubt they have a chance to win a Super Bowl. Name a few teams in the comment section. I ain't talking about their delusion as a fans like the Cowboys. You see what I mean? I'm talking about even y'all know that team is definitely could win a Super Bowl. Cincinnati, Kansas City, Bills, I'll give that, Eagles, 49ers, and I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to stop right there. You might name some more, but I'm going to stop right there. 5 teams. Those 5 teams. Now, what do these 5 teams, matter of fact, dang, I still never brought my pens back in here. Let me see something. Man. All right, that's all good. I got to go get my whole pen cup. Y'all give me a second. All right. Get on my notebook. All right, so we got the notebook out. Listen, I got to name those teams again. We got to name them teams again. KC, Bills, Eagles. Who else did we say? It was like 5 teams. 49ers, Bengals. Let's stop right there for now. They all have franchise quarterbacks. All right. What do these teams have in common? 49ers don't have a franchise quarterback. Well, maybe you need to move franchise out of the equation. They all have O-line. They all have D-lines. And they all have great quarterback play. They all got an O-line, they all got a D-line, and they all got great quarterback play. Nobody said franchise quarterback. We said great quarterback play. No matter who was on the field for the 49ers, it was great quarterback play. Efficient, everything. O-line, D-line, great quarterback play. And the reality is that's all they pretty much have in common. That's all they pretty much have in common. Those are the big factors that they have in common. So what bothers me is when I compare this to the Miami Dolphins, we can't compete with these O-lines. We can't even compete with these D-lines. And the notion of great quarterback play is so inconsistent that it can't even be counted. I ain't going to say their quarterbacks are durable because San Francisco, even Hurts got hurt this year. Somebody said, I mean, the D-line is almost there. See, we're why are we always in the business of giving credit that we ain't got no proof of? Why do you say the D-line is almost there? What makes us think the D-line is almost there? First of all, the D-line that you've seen in the past that ain't even there yet only were as effective as they were because of the unorganic pass rush, the zero look, the extra guy getting sent. The only thing you can be proud about on this D-line is the middle with Zeiler and Wilkins. That's it. That's it. Once again, stop telling me about Jalen Phillips. I like Jalen Phillips. Hopefully he's going to be a great player. But Jalen Phillips ain't even close to the top 5 guys in this league. Now, I agree with that. If Phillips takes a step, we can have it. Well, we once again, if. Do I have to talk about ifs with Aaron Darnold? Do I have to talk about ifs with Micah Parsons, Mack, and all these guys? Are there ifs involved? This is what I'm talking about. Dolphin fans need, when you're evaluating, we got to stop going off of ifs. We got to go off of what is. Not trajectory and what we hope will happen. You might look up this year and Jalen Phillips regress. It's possible. And this is why we always are wrong with our expectations of the team. Because we can make everything an if. What if Noah take the next step? See, y'all ain't willing to go that far. But what's the difference between my if and yours? It ain't happened. And the issue I have is the fact that we have no proof of developing any real talent. No proof. We might take in an occasional athlete and make them a starter and they play well, but trust me, those guys were athletes to begin with. Nick Needham was an athlete. Kohu is an athlete. Van Ginkel is an athlete. See, we'll take guys like that and make them starters and they'll play well, but they were already athletes. It's just your first time seeing them, and we want to give that the credit of development. But we have no track record of developing talent. None. Zero, zilch. Zero, zilch. And people need to stop throwing names out there. Yeah, but with Fangio, what talent Fangio developed? Y'all got to stop that. Understand, he created a scheme that has been effective in the NFL, but that's not talent development. That's schematics. It ain't even Fangio's job to develop the players. It's his staff's job to develop players. The position coaches got to develop the players. Fangio is correct in the sense of he need guys who can teach. You're right. That's all it comes down to. Who can teach, who can develop. Yeah, I don't care nothing about all of that around here. Fangio telling the Chiefs OC that our defense is going to be different. It can only be one way or the other. This is what y'all need to understand. The defense is going to be different. The NFL is a cat and mouse game, a chess game, back and forth. Everything can be beat. It's just, did I call the right play that's going to beat the play that he called? That's all it is. Oh, we're going to have a new defense. That new defense is going to stop certain things. But it ain't a single defense in the NFL stop everything. It doesn't exist. It ain't even possible to exist. Stop thinking we're going to have this new scheme that's going to, man, listen. If it is a new scheme and it's effective, it's going to hurt certain teams, but then there's other teams that's going to destroy us. That's how it works. So it's the guessing game of how do we prepare for this team we're about to play? What do they like to do? How can we create something that'll beat that? It'll be better than 24th in the league. Why you think that? See, once again, we automatically think that our defense is going to be better when it could be worse because we ain't got the personnel. We may not have the personnel. Why do people automatically think that it's going to be better? Just automatically. We got Jalen Ramsey, a player who actually didn't have a great season last year. He's a good corner. But now we're going primarily zone. It's going to be depressing, Brian Moore, because the Dolphins keep doing depressing things. I'm glad you noticed that. I'm glad you noticed that. Now, why don't you, Brian Moore, why don't you say that about the Dolphins? The Miami Dolphins are depressing. Did they depress you last year when they fell short? Did they depress you the year before when they fell short? Did they depress you the year before that? Did they depress you the last 20 years, basically? Because the end result has always been depressing. And if it didn't depress you at all, then you don't care as much as some of us do. You don't care as much. Somebody said they didn't depress me last year. Well, if they didn't depress you last year, then they didn't depress you 2 years ago either, then, huh? Because 2 years ago, we won more games. We won 10 games. We had more success 2 years ago. But I bet you that depressed you. I bet you that still depressed you. It's ridiculous. I'm happy to find a channel that don't sell me the hype. Yeah, man. Well, I ain't gonna lie. Doing what people like me do, I ain't gonna lie, man. It's easy to sell hype. It's easy to sell hype. I did it for the first 2 years on this channel because I was in fan mode. But then I got realistic. I started understanding the truth behind what we do and the good and the bad decisions that we make. It is so easy. You ain't gotta have no talent to sell hype. Anybody out there selling hype, you ain't gotta have no talent to do that. But to give real analysis and truth, not only do you have to know your stuff, but you also have to be able to take all the people that don't like the fact that you're exposing the truth. We're exposing the truth. I agree. MCD. Fitz did more with less. Nobody talk about that. We won 10 games and we ain't had no Armstead caliber player. We ain't had no Tyreek, no Connor Williams. But then we won't talk about that. They live in fantasy land. Well, to come to their defense, it's not just that they live in fantasy land. It's just that they want to be typical fans. And my only issue is this. If you're going to be a typical fan, then be a typical fan. Stop commenting on the real analysis and the real conversations. Stop commenting on the conversations that don't care about your feelings that are fact driven. Just go be a typical fan. But I'm going to tell you this, the reason why they listen to this anyway, because they know there is truth to what's being said. But why you got to talk the truth all the time? Like deep down, they'll never come to these conclusive words. But this is what they're basically saying to me. There's some truth to what you're saying, but man, why does it have to be down all the time? Let's replace the word down with truth. Why do you got to be negative all the time? Let's replace the word negative with truth and then listen to what they're saying. It sounds something like this. Man, what you be saying is true, but why do you have to tell the truth all the time? Why does it have to be truthful all the time? The truth is depressing. It hurts, man. All you do is tell the truth. You can't talk about nothing other than the truth? Hey, the truth is depressing. Why do you keep doing that? That's what they're really saying, but they will never utter those words because none of them can sit up here with me toe to toe and tell me where the lie is. None of them can tell me where the lie is. We can simply talk about the pass rush is going to be great. What evidence do you have of that? Vic Fangio, why does a name tell you that? Tannehill should have been an MVP if a name would tell you that with Adam Gase. Look what Adam Gase did with Peyton Manning. I mean, I've been through all of this already. We did the same thing with Adam Gase. Everybody hates Adam Gase if you're a Dolphin fan. But the day we hired that man, Tannehill going to the next level. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. But we could talk about the D-line, and they could tell me, well, Ogbah, if he was healthy. What do you mean if he was healthy? He played 9-10 games healthy and was trash. So when we break down all the facts, they can't dispute them, but it still rubs them the wrong way. But y'all want to know the truth, though? It ain't that I'm telling the truth. It ain't that the truth is being said. Sometimes it's who's saying it. Let me take a sip on that. Sometimes it's just all about who's saying it. Sometimes it's just who's saying it. Brian Moore said it's not the truth, but okay. Well, just tell us what specific thing isn't the truth. All right. Q said in Ryan Tannehill's first 4 years, he had less talent and better numbers. Yeah, it's true. But Brian, I'll leave it on you, Brian. You said it's not the truth, but okay. But that's what typical people say when it is the truth, but they ain't got no evidence to prove that it ain't. So why don't you tell the people right now, what am I lying about? What am I lying about? What am I wrong about? It'd be interesting to see if I can get a real legitimate response from you right now. I know Bo Brown. Brian not gonna answer. Trust me, I already know. I already know. Right now he's scrambling. Oh, let me get something. Because another thing, I don't speak in absolutes. I never said our defensive line won't be good. I said, what evidence do we have that it will? That's another thing. This is why it's hard for anybody to prove me wrong, because I rarely speak in absolutes. And when I speak in absolutes, I stand behind it. I never stood up here just now and said that we won't get an organic pass rush. I just said there's no evidence to suggest that we will, but we could be shocked. I can't paint a picture you already painted to these folks. How you can't paint I can't paint a picture you already painted to these folks. Bro, I didn't paint a picture. I just sat the brush out. I sat the paint out. I took the lid off. I just did all the factual things. Now, what you want to express with it, that's on you. I didn't express anything. I just gave facts. Facts are the materials. Now, I could take those facts and I can twist them. That's the paint job. I didn't paint the picture. I just put the materials out. The facts. A paintbrush is going to be a paintbrush. A paint is going to be a paint. If it's red paint, it's going to be red paint. I just put the material out, bro. I didn't paint a picture. So when people say, yeah, Ogba was hurt, and if he wasn't hurt, I put the paintbrush out. The man played 9 games healthy and was trash. Are you disputing that? There go your paint. Now, if you want to take that and twist that, that's the picture. I don't paint pictures. I put the materials out, bro. Thought you just said it wasn't absolute. So how it facts now? David, first of all, you need to elaborate what you're saying, but also, David, listen to the words that I say. I said I rarely speak in absolutes. And when I speak in absolute, it's a fact. You got to listen to the words that I'm saying. I rarely, and do me a favor, right after you hear this one more time, go rewind it to 5 minutes ago and you're going to hear these exact words. I rarely speak in absolutes. That don't mean I don't. I rarely speak in absolutes, and when I do, oh, it's a fact. So that just nails all your trying to catch me in a contradiction. Thought you said it wasn't absolute. Rarely absolute. So how is it fact? Because when I speak, in fact, it is. Gosh, man, sometimes it's just listening. Sometimes you hear what you want to hear. Some people are just listening to this stream because they already don't like my opinion on a lot of matters. So they're like, what is he going to say wrong? The players paint their own picture. The player, TD gives his opinion like everyone else, which is true. A lot of the stuff that I give you is my opinion, doesn't make me right. But when I speak in absolutes, I speak in absolute. It is not my opinion that Emmanuel Ogbah did not play well in the 9 games that he was healthy. All of us should come to the exact same conclusion, which should make it a fact. It is not my opinion that Jalen Phillips gets pressure, but he always just misses. Oh, Jalen. Oh, dang, he almost got him. That's Jalen Phillips. I mean, that's on film. Everybody should, if you watch film, we would all come to that conclusion. Bradley Chubb wouldn't even half the player he was when he was in Denver. That ain't my opinion. Go look at the film, and the statistics will tell you these are all facts. But I'm painting that. I'm painting that narrative. I'm painting that narrative. In other words, what you're trying to say is I'm influencing people to believe something that isn't true. I just gave you 3 examples, one with Ogba, one with Phillips, and one with Chubb. Does anybody disagree with my assessment of those 3 and what I just said? You could be honest. If you disagree, you disagree. But I'm very interested to hear from them people that disagree and tell me why. There ain't no biasness. That's not me picking on them. These are, anybody disagree? Does anybody disagree? And I even actually was positive with something. I said Christian Wilkins and Zyler, I like what they doing. That interior, they doing what they need to do. So pressure means nothing. If that's what you want to get out of it, I'm glad you asked so that I can give you a fair answer. Pressure means a lot. But it's not, listen, let's be honest here. I already told you he gets a lot of pressure, which is good, but he just misses. The problem that I have with Jalen Phillips' pressure, when he just misses, a play is still being made. Now, I like when he get pressure and they don't make the play because of his pressure, but that ain't typically what the case is. Because he ain't getting that up the middle pressure causing you to hurry up and get rid of it. He getting around the corner pressure, almost got you. They stepped up, got the completion. There's different kind of pressure too. A lot of guys can go around the edge and put their arm out trying to grab you and just miss you. That's pressure. But the play is still alive when they stepped up. And then there's guys that bring in that pressure through strength and everything up the middle, all up in your face, and you like, oh, and you cause a bad pass, or you cause them to throw it away, or you cause a misfire. There's different pressures, bro. There's different levels of pressure. They all pressure. And I'm not saying he don't never do that, but the fact remains Jalen Phillips always just about always almost got there. Jalen Phillips almost got there. Jalen Phillips almost got him. Jalen Phillips almost did it. Oh, he almost did it. Oh, he was so close. Oh, he got him. He got him that time. Let's go, Jalen. Oh, yeah, he got him. Oh, he almost got him. Oh, man, he just missed him. Oh, man, dang, so close. Ah, dang, he bumped into his own player. Oh, man. He got his ankle, but he got out of it. Oh, he almost got. Oh, he got him. He got him. Yeah, Jalen Phillips. He got him, y'all. I ain't knocking it, but I'm telling you, I need a little bit more. I need a few more. Oh, he got him. Oh, he got him. I need a few more of those. For him to take the next step is simply the only thing he need to do is get him. But in my opinion, this is an opinion, so it don't make me right because we're talking about the future. In my opinion, it's going to be harder to get him because now we going organic. Now there's times you're going to get chipped and double teamed more often because we ain't got 7 on the line. Jay said, read my comment. Last year our cornerback play was horrible, which gave him less time to reach the quarterback. Well, it's going to be even worse this year because the type of defense that Fangio wants, it forces the other team to dink and dunk. It's going to be even worse this year. Other teams going to be trying to get rid of the ball quick. Cover 4, cover 6, we making sure nothing deep. All that underneath stuff happens quick. It's going to be even worse this year. Time will tell. Time will tell. We'll see. But we have that crazy corner duo, so it should give Phillips the extra little bit of time. What crazy corner duo? What crazy corner duo? Once again, we talking paper. What duo does Xavier Howard belong in after what he did last year? All right, let me do you one better. If you were not a Dolphin fan, would you have voted for Xavier Howard to make the Pro Bowl last year? Don't forget what I said at the beginning. If you were not a Dolphin fan, would you have voted for Xavier Howard to make the Pro Bowl last year? Matter of fact, nobody talking about he was the 40th ranked corner in the NFL last year. He wasn't great, but he needs his Batman. Let me tell y'all something about Xavier Howard. And hey, I hope I'm wrong. Y'all think he need his Batman? He only need his Batman when we playing man coverage. You forgot we switching the zone, huh? Have you ever seen Xavier Howard make a play in zone? I'm just asking. Maybe you have, and I'm sure he has, but you get my point. You get my point. Nobody's talking about that either. Nobody's talking about that either. There's no more baiting you. The Xavier Howard string. You know, I'm going to make you think you beat me off the line, and I'm going to catch up, and I'm going to be the ball hawk. Ain't no more of that when you playing zone. Ain't no more of that when you playing zone. Hey, nobody think about that. Nobody even care to even think about that, do you? Nobody's considering that, are you? He was playing hurt majority of the season. It's only 70%. Well, you're adding on to my point. When can we ever expect him not to be playing at 70%? That ain't nothing to bring up. I expect him to always be at 70% because when the last time he wouldn't? You ain't saying nothing revelatory. Yeah, but when he 100, when is he 100? When do you remember him being 100? Once again, going off of the things that we hope, that there ain't no evidence to support that will be. Guess what we came into the season? Guess what everybody said? Nobody talk about what we talked about last year in training camp. Man, they say this is the best shape Xavier Howard's ever been in. Getting back to his healthy form. Man, that lived for 3 days. That narrative lived for 3 days in training camp. Then he didn't even play the last portion of no training camp. Trust me, I went to every training camp. He was limited in training camp. He did the one-on-one individuals, did the early team work. Late in the day, we done. Him and like 5 other, him and Armstead and guys like that. Veteran rest, TD, no. No one here. But some of y'all, to try to combat my point, you're actually making my point. You make my point. Yeah, but we got the corner duo. What have you done for me lately? You're only good as your last game, your last season. And let's be honest. We ain't even talk about Jalen Ramsey. Don't get me started, because when we get to Ramsey, when we get to the film study, because we're going to be watching film on our new additions this offseason. David Long, Jalen Ramsey, all he got. We're going to be watching a little bit of film on them. We're going to literally go to games, and we're going to say, there he is over there. We're going to go play by play. He ain't had to do much on that. The ball didn't even come his way. He playing all, blah, blah, blah. We're going to do all of that. But I will say this, Ramsey is a good addition for zone coverage. If we were talking man coverage, Ramsey ain't the same player he used to be, y'all. Y'all need to understand that. Y'all better get that through your head. He is not the same player he used to be in man coverage. Every time I turned the TV on and they were running man coverage, Ramsey was getting 8. The great Jalen Ramsey, yes. TD, does long injury history scare you? It scares me because I know that if we can carry his level of play for the full season, him alone, he going to make a huge impact. This guy, he changes a game. He can change a game. The 3 to 5 plays, the big time plays he can make in a game can change a whole game. And it scares me because if we have to do without it at any point, I ain't got no faith in this linebacking core. None of us do. Neither does this team. That's why we invest in the way that we did. That's why we went in to go get a first-round pick that they still ain't playing. Not first round, but a draft pick. Our first pick in the draft. This is why. I better see Tyndall this year and not on no limited basis. Or that's going to signal to me another failure. Gosh, man, y'all done already been through a million things, y'all, showing y'all they brought this player in to do this. Now they moved him to that because he failed. And now he failing that where they moved him to. Somebody reminded me of something the other day that blew my mind that I forgot. And the reason why I forgot is because this player is actually great at his position now. But he was technically another failure. What was Robert Hunt's original position? What was Robert Hunt's original position? Anybody remember? It wasn't no guard. That's the funny thing. I forgot, but I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. Robert Hunt was the right tackle and Austin Jackson was the left. They failed. Robert Hunt couldn't handle right tackle. It was a failure, and I forgot all about that, and they quickly moved him inside, and he balling out on the inside. Exactly. Solomon Kinley was the guard. Robert Hunt was the tackle. And if they truly believe that Robert Hunt was a good tackle, he would be out there right now. There ain't no way you're going to keep him at no right. You move Connor from guard to center. You sure, TD? Oh, this is a fact. Bro, just go back to their rookie year. Robert Hunt was the right tackle. Austin Jackson was the left tackle. Kinley was bad, but technically Robert Hunt wasn't good at right tackle either. But when they moved him in at guard, he never looked back. And we forgot because, hey, that's his home. That's who he is. But don't forget. Hunt has a 66 PFF grade at right tackle. I didn't even look that up. I forgot. Y'all go back to Robert Hunt rookie year. Let me look it up. He a really good guard now, boy. I'm gonna tell you that when you look at his numbers. All right, here we go. Offense. Yep. That was his lowest year. He was a 58.8 pass protection as a tackle. A 65 for pass blocking. Run blocking, he was always good, though, regardless where he was. He was always good at run blocking. But the pass protection wasn't good. And he had his best season this year, 72.3 PFF. I ain't gonna lie, Robert Hunt's been very good, very solid for us, but he still has some room to grow and take that next level. He's just been exceptional to be a second round pick. But I think he still has some opportunity to grow even more because he's not perfect either. It's just that he doesn't make enough mistakes for us to be concerned. Hunt played tackle in college. I know. That's what I'm saying. We drafted him. And he started out at right tackle. Oh yeah. Oh man, let me pull his thing up real quick. Yeah, that's good enough. I'm straight right now. You reaching heavy today, TD. Well, you again, V21, man. We try to have educated conversations over here. So when you say I'm reaching heavy, you have to be very specific. TD, you're reaching when you say this. TD, you're reaching when you say that. That's what you have to do. Why did we move him? Because he was better at right guard. He was better at right guard. He wasn't great at right tackle. Again, in the past, he was a 58.8 at right tackle. I just looked it up. And I remember then we had a lot of injuries and they start playing musical chairs. And we tried some games where we kicked Hunter out at right tackle and put a guy at right guard whenever injuries start piling up. We put him back at that position again. And it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. Hold on, let me pull this up. TD, you're reaching heavy today with facts. That's what he meant to say. Oh, I guess. You know, I get beat up so much I can't assume the best sometimes. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me one moment. Trying to pull something up for y'all. If I can get it up. Oh my gosh, where is it? And I had a video for y'all. I'm gonna have to re-download it. Dang it, I want y'all to see this too. It's a video I had. Give me 30 more seconds to see if I can find it for y'all. Nope. Please be here. No. Never mind. I'll have to re-download it. Gosh, man. I don't even want to ruin it either. If it wasn't for those drops in Buffalo. He was both. Who y'all talking about? Probably Hunt. Yeah, I mean, he can play both. That's the good thing about him. I know from my understanding, his senior year, he played tackle, and that's what we drafted him as. And he won awards, accolades at the position and everything. I think like early in his career, like high school, freshman in college and all that, he was a guard. So he had the experience, but I'm actually wondering now, just to think about his history. Would he be, because he wasn't a train wreck, but he's better. Am I wrong if I say that Austin Jackson, I mean, Robert Hunt is a better tackle than Austin Jackson and Liam Eichenberg? Am I wrong if I say that? Am I wrong to say that? Because they're different positions. He's a great guard. He's not a great tackle. I don't even know if you can say a good tackle in the NFL, but it's better, right? And I'm thinking about that now, and it's like, would it be better to just kick the man outside than sit here talk about Liam and Jackson competing? He was getting bull rushed at right tackle. I already said it ain't perfect, but once again, is it better than Jackson? Shell is better than those bums too. Listen, man, I don't know where all this hype for Shell. Maybe it's me, man. I just don't understand where all this hype for Brandon Shell has been coming from lately. Maybe y'all gonna have to explain to me something that I don't understand. Big O, is that who's bringing this Brandon Shell narrative everywhere around here? This man was a 52 pass block last year. Now he was a good run blocker last year. But pass blocking was horrible. 64.9 PFF. I guess that's better than Austin Jackson. But for me, it still ain't the upgrade I'm looking for. It's still not the upgrade that I'm looking for. Like, why can't we just invest in a legitimate starting straight up? Anyway, man, it is what it is. Shell didn't give up that much pressure. I get it. Let me see if I could look in a more in-depth bio of how he did. All right, because they got a game chart for him. Brandon Shell. Let me share my screen. I'm tripping. I could have been sharing this screen the whole time. All right, so from a game chart perspective, he started in week 5. He was trash when he came. Minnesota, he did a good job. I mean, it's not a good job, but a decent job. Pittsburgh, he was trash. So I'm looking for like the better defenses, y'all. Jets, better defense. Coming at him, he was trash. Pittsburgh, better defense coming at him, was trash. Chicago, he was just trash. None of these are better defenses. Houston, trash. Like, how you playing trash against the trash teams too? But San Francisco, that's pretty solid, especially against San Francisco. That's a real good. Well, unless they just run attack in that area, but that's good. Chargers, trash. Buffalo, good. Green Bay, good. Patriots, good. Jets again. See that Jets. Brandon Shell. Blocking. All right. Pass blocking. Y'all see this? See, his issue, run blocking is fine. His issue is pass blocking. Y'all see this? Pass blocking. And everybody knows what we really need on our O-line is pass protection. TD, what do you think about Tim Riggins from Dillon? I don't think about Tim Riggins from Dillon. Haven't thought about him, honestly. Haven't done much research on him. I've been very clear this year. I haven't really done much research on many players for the draft at all, because 9 times out of 10 we won't get them if that's what you're talking about. Brandon Shell basically as a pass blocker is a 51-7. That's the issue we're having at right tackle. Run blocking, he's actually I put that as really, that's solid. That's good for old lineman. Overall is 64-9 because of the pass blocking. Shell basically is not a good pass blocker. That's what this is saying. Go draft Anton Harrison. Yeah, what round? So I don't know, man. And then on top of it, another thing to consider is what he 90. I mean, he 31 now. I know he trolling. T Rich said he a solid backup. No, I agree. But again, T Rich, is Austin Jackson not a solid backup? You see what I'm saying? That's the issue. Where's our starter? Where's our starter? That's the issue I have. I get if we want to talk about solid backup, but Austin Jackson is a solid backup. Somebody said Greg Little. See what I be talking about, man? Jesus. Oh, my gosh. Oh my gosh. I didn't even know it was this bad. Oh, my God. How is he even on this roster? I wouldn't even want this on a practice squad. Oh, my gosh. Now I see why. Oh, my gosh. Oh my gosh. You can't make this up. Now I see why Brandon Shell had a high rating in the Minnesota game. Do y'all see this in the Minnesota game? Look at the pass blocking. Now I see why Brandon Shell had a high rating. Because they weren't attacking Brandon Shell. Teron Armstead was gone, and they were attacking Greg Little. I didn't think it was possible to have a 1.5 PF. Oh my gosh. How is he on the roster? This man got a 1.5 passing. You basically messed up every play. You got beat on 98.5% of the plays. That's what that tell me. Mm-mm-mm. This was the right tackle. So he was absolutely putrid at right tackle. The first game at left tackle was horrendous. And then left tackle for the rest of the season. He was okay pass blocking, but then the run block still was bad. Um, well, I'm lying there. He wasn't good the rest of the season either. When you got 9 snaps in a whole game, you got 6 snaps in a whole game. So the Cleveland Browns, we made them concede. So he got the 9 snaps at the end of the game when it didn't even matter. Houston, Armstead went out after, I forgot when Armstead went out, but I remember that Houston game where it was just trouble everywhere. Buffalo 5 snaps. These 3 games, he was okay, but the overall was still bad. I don't understand this. I don't understand this. Some of y'all little nears out there. Little nears. Ugh. I you can't make this stuff up. This man got a 1.5 pass protect. Then he had a 7.5. This stuff is like legitimately unreal. Cameron Flemings, that's another one. These people on our roster right now, y'all. Wow. Why I say tackle Denver? Well, I like this. He 30. You said look at him. I see. I'll take this at right tackle. Run blocking ain't the best, but I'll take this. I'll take this level of production. Y'all said he a free agent? Cameron Flemings is a free agent? Yeah, he'll come in and be my starter today. Mm. Mm. See, this is stuff I be talking about, Chris Greer. Let me go look at his contract from before. This man made 1.2. See, this stuff I be talking about. We got a man who just made $1.3 million. And he an unrestricted free agent. Okay. And we not going to get him. My bad, y'all. Man, what is the Dolphins doing? See, this is an easy temporary fix. Hold on, let me see career earnings. He never made no big money. He used to it. Hold on. Let me go look at something real quick. Maybe it was just an anomaly. Let me see his career. All right, not great starting. Had 2 really nice years, then 3 whatevers, but he's on a trajectory of 2 nice career. 2 nice. Okay, maybe there's a bigger issue I'm not seeing here. Let me go to games played. He had a nice season. Let me see. How many games did he play? Maybe he got hurt or something. He coming off an injury they don't trust. He missed inactive for 2 weeks, but came back. No, what's the problem? See, y'all, this that stuff I be talking about. We ain't got to complicate life. We don't have to complicate things. This is the stuff I be talking about. We don't have to complicate this. It does not have to be complicated. Get this man off my screen. We're talking about a guy you can pay $1.5 million to. I'm gonna be honest, I would give this man a 2-year, $4 million deal just to get him. Make sure. And guarantee $2 million. Say we got 1 year guarantee for you. Y'all got the nerve. You got the nerve to call me negative. Why everything always negative with you? Because the Miami Dolphins won't do something basic move like this. All you need is a guy who ain't going to be a train wreck. He ain't got to be great. He's still going to give up a sack on occasions and mess up here and there. But it's better than what you got now for a minimal price. T. Rich said you don't need an O-line when you got a gold mine. You know what? Let's roll. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I keep forgetting about that. I keep forgetting that we got Tua talking about Lord. We straight. We straight. I can't wait. Yep. Let's go. We don't need all that. Matter of fact, you need to trade Tyreek. You got to go, man. The Chiefs got to go, man. They ain't need Tyreek. Matter of fact, leave the O-line the way it is. Go trade Tyreek. Get you a first-round pick back. Yeah, we straight. We out here tripping. I forgot what we got. No. See now, yep. Thank you, T. Rich. You know what, T. Rich? Ever since you've been on here, have I said anything negative about Tua? On this stream, have I said anything negative about Tua? Really? TD, check out Isaiah Wynn. He was bad last year because they switched him from left tackle to right tackle, and the O-line coach was Matt Patricia. His past seasons are good. Hey, he ain't gonna be cheaper than this other guy. I want the other guy now. But you know what? I ain't said nothing bad about Tua this whole time. I ain't even been talking about Tua. But T. Rich done brought him in the conversation. Let me tell y'all something. Mike McDaniel, I got to choose my words wisely here. Mike McDaniel need to stop. Mike McDaniel sound worse than Tyreek Hill last year. Oh, I was shocked. I called Chris Greer in the middle of the night. I was just so blown away. I watched all the throws, and it was just like, we're sitting on a goal. Oh my gosh. I'm like, Mike McDaniel. Oh my gosh. Y'all still trying to sell this stuff, man. Y'all still like stop. Oh my God. And let me tell y'all something. Look what they did in the media, especially the Tua near media, the Tua near driven media. It was so funny. Now, y'all know I'm a stickler of words. Words mean something. They mean exactly what they mean, right? Everybody twisted what he said and took it even further than he did. And Mike McDaniel was very strategic in what he said, but nobody want to act like they noticed what he said. They making it seem like he said one thing when he said another. Oh, he didn't say another. He just said what he said, but they making it more than what it is. Mike McDaniel's exact words were, he realized Tua Tagovailoa was the best quarterback that he's had for his system. Remember, he stuttered and made sure he said those words instead of what he was about to say. Can somebody tell me what quarterbacks Mike McDaniel has worked with? He said he's the best quarterback for my system that I've worked with. What quarterbacks have you worked with? Y'all act like he said something revelatory, like he the best quarterback in the NFL for his system. But that's what I'm out here hearing out here all on these streets. Mike McDaniel already said Tua is the best fit for his system. He's the best quarterback for his system. That ain't what he said. He said this is the best quarterback that I've worked with for this system. He didn't say he was the best quarterback for the system, period. T-Rich said he chose Tua over Lamar. That's a choice that could end up getting him fired in 2 years. It can either get him elevated to a whole nother level of coaching status, or it can get him fired in 2 years. Every coach has a right to choose who he want to choose, but remember those choices have consequences and repercussions. Which is very interesting. Hold on, let me pull one more thing up for y'all. Matt Ryan won MVP. What year was that? What year was that Matt Ryan won MVP? Does anybody remember? Does anybody remember what year that was Matt Ryan won MVP? Oh, in 2016, when Mike McDaniel didn't even work with the quarterbacks? Y'all forgot he was a wide receivers coach, a run game coordinator, and offensive assistant? So stop telling me Matt Ryan was an MVP and he says Tua is the best for his system that he's worked with. He ain't worked with no Matt Ryan. He was a wide receivers coach, a run game coordinator, and an offensive assistant. She didn't need to be the GM so we can win a Super Bowl. I don't know, man. It's a tough job. I love it. Same Shanahan system. I agree, but he didn't work with him. He didn't work with him. When did he work with quarterbacks? In 2021 as an offensive coordinator in San Francisco. That's when he worked with quarterbacks. Before that, he was the run game coordinator. Before that, wide receiver coach. And then a wide receiver coach again with another team. Running back coach. Then a whole bunch of offensive assistants. So people can make that out to be whatever they want to make it out to be. The best quarterback that I've worked with for my sister, stop. He was very clear to not say the NFL. Mike got his chips in on Tua. That's his truth. Hey, you know what? At least I commend Mike McDaniel. He owning it too. He is owning his truth. I will say that. He is definitely owning his truth. He got all his chips in on Tua, and at the end of the day, you got to sell Tua to the utmost, to the highest degree possible. You have to. Every chance you get. You got to make him the best thing that you've ever worked with or done, because your legacy is going to be tied to him. And I'm going to tell y'all now, that confirms to me, and this is all speculative, this is what I believe, it don't make it right. Mike McDaniel got hired because he gave them a promise on Tua. So you should look for him to make Tua out to be the God of all gods when it comes to quarterback at every chance he gets. That's his job. That's how he's going to make sure that he keeps his. No, don't say loyalty is not good, because Mike McDaniel don't owe the Dolphins loyalty. He just owes the fact that his job relies on Tua Tagovailoa. I am highly convinced now that Mike McDaniel's career as a head coach starts and ends with Tua Tagovailoa. It's that simple. If Tua's a 20-year quarterback in Miami, Mike McDaniel will be a 20-year coach in Miami. I'm telling y'all. There ain't no case that 9 years from now they want to move on from Tua because it ain't working and they keep McDaniel. He is tied to him for forever. So at the end of the day, I told y'all last year, don't listen to nothing Mike McDaniel say, because he gonna say exactly what he need to say and supposed to say. I mean, y'all all watched the interview. Even T. Rich over here saying he was on the vape pen. Y'all watched the interview. It was just excessively unnecessary. But to be fair, when has he ever broke code? He has always done this in regards to Tua. Because what did he say? He wants that relationship to be great. Why? Because he's trying not to make the mistake of his predecessor. The first thing you do when you come into a new situation is you know why the previous guy didn't work out and make sure you ain't nowhere close to that. And he's doing a heck of a job making sure that there ain't no question in anybody's mind about Mike McDaniel's thoughts on Tua Tagovailoa. Now, his true thoughts may be hidden. His true thoughts may be Tua is limited, but I'm going to maximize what he does have and make him the best version. And I'm a great coach because I'm going to make him look great regardless. I'm going to hide every flaw he got to where people don't even believe he has them anymore. And that's how great of a coach I am. And if he succeeds doing that, that's what great coaches do. But at the same token, at some point, you also realize you're only limited in what you can do. And in the hiding that you do, some people pull those curtains. And when Green Bay pulled them curtains, when San Francisco pulled them curtains, when the Chargers pulled them curtains, your response was go get checked out by the doctor. We had to put it on a protocol. We had to blame a concussion. Because the only out that Mike McDaniel has that may allow him to keep his job if Tua fails is if the failure is related also to injury. But if Tua stays healthy, he got to be a great quarterback, or McDaniel is toast. Even right now, McDaniel is a 500 quarterback for his career. He's 9-8 in the regular season and 0-1 in the playoffs. As a head coach, he's a 500 coach. With all of this talent, he's 500. He's going to have to get more in that winning column this year. Tua was benched. Yeah, we know. That's neither here nor there. If he stays healthy, we will be great. You think so? So what if Tua stays healthy but Armstead don't? Will we be great? What if X play like he did last year and Ramsey play like he did last year? Will we be great? See, y'all think that just the Tua stay healthy will be great. This team got way more concerns than just Tua. We got way more concerns than just Tua. I'm tired of that narrative out here. If Tua can just stay healthy. You know how many people on this team, if they could just stay healthy? Another thing, let me tell you now. Everybody on this team can stay healthy. If Tyreek Hill get hurt, we done. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. I don't care what you think. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's the one man you better hope never get hurt. That's the one man you better hope he will never get hurt. It is a wrap. Tyreek get hurt, it's a wrap. Whole season done. Whole season over. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. Think about this offense without Tyreek and everybody double teaming Waddle. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. And that's the problem I got. The team is a wrap if one person get hurt and that person ain't even a quarterback. Oh, my gosh. You ain't even got Gesicki no more. To just maybe, well, Gesicki got to step up. But now what we going to do? Braxton Berrios? Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. You can't, oh, my gosh. You can't make this stuff up. Thank God for Tyreek. He overpaid, but he ain't overpaid. If he got to, I guess. If Kelsey gets hurt, it's a wrap. What now? You a lie. You a lie. This team's still making the playoffs. That team will still make the playoffs if Travis Kelce get hurt. They may lose 2 games, 2 more games than they usually do, but they making the playoffs. Well, lost your mind. You still get to see Gesicki twice a year. Man, Gesicki better not do us in, man. Hopefully Mac Jones don't play well, but you never know what Mac Jones, what he does this year. You never know. With Berrios, might as well have McDaniels working out the slot. Without Kelsey, Mahomes toast too, in my opinion. I don't know what leads you to believe that. I don't know what leads you to believe that. That's just that's a straight up assumption. See, Tua, we done seen him without Tyreek with this team. We know what it looks like. See, Travis Kelce, without Travis Kelce, you're just making an assumption. If Diggs hurt, it's a wrap in Buffalo. It's a wrap. I told you Josh Allen a bum. It's a wrap. Diggs hurt, it's a wrap. I wouldn't sleep on Patriots. T-Rich, they done, bro. If they got Lamar, then we talking. But they don't get Lamar, they done. They done. I know they about to bring in another weapon. They trying to get Hopkins, but if they do, I ain't worried about them even if they got Hopkins. Now they go get Lamar with Hopkins? Man, boy. You know what? Actually, even though I know that we probably won't have the greatest success this year, we still will fight for the playoffs. But it'll be the funnest season ever. Like, I love controversy in our division. I love when every team great because I want to rise above all of us being great. I want every team in this division to be great, but I want to be the one standing at the top at the end. But I already know that's highly unlikely to happen. That's highly unlikely to happen. Highly unlikely. Y'all do me a favor, punch that like button. All right, man. Real quick, we got a little bit more time. I'm gonna get some of these QB. I'm gonna try to do a little bit of the QB tiers. We're not gonna do 11 like we did last time. Maybe we do like 4 or 5, and we'll keep working our way through it. Bring back Isaiah Ford. You should have never got rid of Mac Hollins. Talking about Isaiah Ford. Tyreek had a career low 7 touchdowns, tied for 20th among in reception TDs. That's strictly because of the quarterback. Hey, you okay? Okay. You want to bring her? Okay. All right. Let me pull this up real quick. Every time you do a show, TD, I get sad, brother. Hey, man. Every time we play a season, you get sad. At least you can get the accurate information here up front. Every time a season is over for the Dolphins, we sad. Which would you prefer? Somebody telling you it's going to end this way and it does end this way, or somebody telling you it's going to end the opposite way but then it ends this way? What's great content to you? You a snap, TD. What that mean? What's great content to y'all? Somebody who telling you what's going to happen and it happened even if it ain't good? Or somebody telling you everything gonna be great and it don't happen? What's real content? You know what I mean? What's the content you can appreciate? A lie that end up wrong or the truth that end up right, even if you don't like it? A lie that feel good that end up wrong that hurt, or the truth that feel bad but it ends up that way and now you understand? What's real content? There's different ways you can get content out here. Now, if I was, some people say, "Oh, you're all about the money now because I got sponsors," and that's a blessing. But if I was all about the money, I could make 10 times the money I'm making just by making you feel good every day. Nobody out here is gonna make you feel better than I can make you feel. Pause. If I want to just be positive, TD, and even though I know it ain't true and I'm lying, ain't nobody out here could out motivate you than me. I promise you that. But I don't like it. I don't feel good doing it. I don't. It started to be a big turnoff for me. Remember the first 2 years, I was the most positive person there was in this community. Nobody could do no wrong. Everything we did, I showed you why it was the right move for the first 2 years. People loved it. They loved me. And as I started to be wrong, don't worry, y'all, this person gonna be blah, blah, blah. They were trash. Oh, man, when we got, see, it stopped around Noah. See, Noah is that sneaky good move. Y'all don't understand. We got one of the best recruiting. We got one of the best scouting departments in the NFL. I still remember selling that to y'all. Noah is one of them sneaky moves that y'all gonna look up and he gonna be one of the elite corners in the league. Yeah, TD, yeah, Noah's gonna be the elite young guy. Yeah, I mean, people were just eating it off the spoon. Truth is, I kind of believed it too because I was selling myself. But at some point, you just realize you're wrong about everything. You're wrong about everything. So I want y'all to think about everybody who told you how great last year was going to be and what we were going to do and how far we was going to go. But nobody called them out for how wrong they were about so many things. If Armstead stays healthy, Armstead will stay healthy. All these lies. All of these lies, but nobody talk about how wrong these people are. They made you feel good, so they better than you, TD. That's what people out here scream. That's why I don't like TD. I listen to this person, even though, can you tell me what they've been right about? And the sad part is, I know they've been wrong. Anything opposite of what I've been saying has been wrong because everything's been bad. Almost everything. All the negatives I said could happen, 90% of them been happening. It sucks. I don't want to be right. But when you evaluate the team, you come to some real conclusions if you want to be unbiased. If you want to be unbiased. So now whenever I present that to people, they're like, oh, you be wrong too. And I say, how do I be wrong? You said we were getting Deshaun Watson. We were going after Deshaun Watson. Some of you still deny that. It didn't happen. And I would have swore to you it's going to happen because it's common sense. It's a big upgrade. And it didn't happen. I was wrong. You see that? Somebody better clip that. TD just said, I was wrong. It didn't happen. Now we're dealing with Lamar Jackson. It's a no-brainer to me. We're not around here talking about injuries because we got an injury guy. We're just talking about skills on the field. Y'all should be inquiring what it's going to take to get Lamar Jackson, but they ain't doing it. And in my mind, the smart thing to do is inquire about him, so we're going to pursue him. You're wrong. We're not getting them. Yeah, that's because of how dumb we are. But we all know what the real barometer is. Tua's long term. And still, even at this point, I haven't been wrong about Tua's long-term success. 3 years in, and I'm still not wrong because we still don't know. Still don't know. Lamar will be a Dolphin. Yeah, I hope so. And if he become a Dolphin, I hope he can stay healthy. You know, it's guys like Lamar, right? I wish he could become a Dolphin so people can see how critical I am of even him. You see what I mean? Like people could see how critical I am even of Lamar. See, let me tell y'all something. See, watch this. Let me give you an example. Y'all see how Tua wasn't playing great versus the Ravens, but then he turned it up in the second half? People get mad that I say that he wasn't playing well in the first half. I'm just being honest and critical. He actually wasn't playing well in the first half. Turned the ball over, made mistakes, dug the hole, but he made up for it in the fourth quarter. They get mad at that. But they'll ignore the fact that I say Lamar Jackson was phenomenal in that same game. He had 5 touchdowns. Nobody talks about that, right? 4 or 5 touchdowns combined, right? But he was trash in the fourth quarter. We still should have lost that game, but Lamar screwed him. Lamar on 2 third downs in a row, which allowed us to come back because they punted, had a wide open tight end, and he overthrew him. We shouldn't have won that game. I don't care how many heroics Tua had. Lamar had a chance to seal that game, and he didn't. 2 wide open tight ends on 3rd down and 2 drives in a row, and he overthrew both of them. Why? When I say wide open, I mean wide open, clock-ending games. The game is over. 1st down, they're going to run the clock. Now it's over. He blew it. He straight blew it. I don't care how phenomenal he was. But you know what? If Lamar came to Miami right now and did that crap in the game, everybody would be screaming that to the top, and I would too. But they won't give no outrage. A lot of them won't give outrage. Hey, TD, why you ranking on Lamar? Blah, 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 blah. Why you ranking on Lamar? They ain't going to do that. If he was a Dolphin, they wouldn't do that because most of them won't like him anyway. They're going to be looking for his flaws. They're going to be right there with me criticizing it because it's the right thing to do whether you like him or not. But they only going to do it because they don't like him. But they ignore Tua when he do stuff like that. They ignore Tua when he do stuff like that. Straight ignore him. Anywho, I finally got it up. I don't know why this thing takes so slow to load. All right, here we go. All right, this is where we left off, ladies and gentlemen. If you remember, I'm not worried about Tua going down because it's inevitable. But McDaniel needs to get the backups ready with a real offense, with an open playbook in a pro-style offense. I agree. See, you know the funny thing about that? I'm glad you brought that up. Flores was able to win when Tua was healthy. Flores couldn't win when Tua was out either, though, right? Mike McDaniel won when Tua was healthy. Mike McDaniel couldn't win when Tua was out. Y'all see that? There ain't nothing impressive. There wasn't anything impressive. There wasn't much difference. Let's just save time and put Mac Jones in elite. All right, y'all. Let's move along, man. Let's start out. Who we got now? We got Kyle Trask. Kyle Trask. Let me pull his data up. I don't even realize how long Kyle Trask has he even played. Nah, we talk about a rookie who literally had 23 yards this year. I'm not putting him on here. Only reason he was on here is because Brady. Because he may start this year. But I'm not going to include Kyle Trask. That's as raw as it get. I'm going to take him off of this. There's no need to have him on here. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Russell Wilson, where do y'all got? I'm going to take a lead away because he's not elite. Russell Wilson, for his career. What do you say about Russell Wilson? Russell Wilson, I know his career all too well because I've studied his career, because his career has proved so many of the points that I have made about this game of football over time. In that this is a new NFL and people need to stop thinking as if it's the old NFL. Money is now involved. Money is now involved. Russell Wilson has made the Pro Bowl every year except for 2 seasons. Every year he's made the Pro Bowl with the exception of 2 seasons. He also has played 11 seasons so far. Russell Wilson has a playoff record of 9-7. Okay. Yeah, 9-7. And let me pull something up for y'all. All right, let me see what y'all have him as. Y'all said really good, good, wash, really good, really good. I'm talking about his career, not now. Good, above average. Whoo, this is tough. So Russell Wilson left people to believe in his first 4 seasons in the NFL after winning Super Bowls and all, after winning a Super Bowl and all. He left people believing that he was an elite quarterback. I think a lot of people actually over time end up settling to the great category. Russell Wilson was a great quarterback. But as soon as that money hit, things were never the same. But I will say that Russell Wilson still was able to carry his team to the playoffs multiple years after the contract, but never had success out of the first round. A lot of first round exits, an occasional first round win, but a second round exit had a lot to do with the talent around him. But at the same token, that money hit, he's not the type of guy that carries a team like a great or an elite quarterback does. And this year, he is starting to fall off major fall off, which is just bad, but it's only 1 year compared to his entire career. So I'll have to say this. Russell Wilson, for his career so far, I have him as a really good quarterback. I just can't put him in the great because he was never elite to begin with. Just what was around him made the team elite. He was great for those first 4 years, but since those first 4 years, he's been good. And now he had a bad year. I have to put his career as really good. That's what I believe about Russell Wilson as a quarterback for his career, that he is a really good quarterback. Do y'all agree with that? Yes or no? Do you agree with that? Yes or no? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. While you're giving me your thoughts in the comment section, we're going to move on to Dak Prescott, which is a more interesting quarterback. And I'd like to hear from all of you. What do you think about Dak Prescott? What category would you put Dak Prescott? What's your thoughts on Dak Prescott in his 7-year career so far? And out of 7 years, he's been a 2-time Pro Bowler. He's starting to get injuries. But we talk about a guy who just doesn't have really any. He's 2-4 in the playoffs. This is an interesting one. This is a very interesting one. Put it in the comments. All right, that gonna be the last one because I actually got a meeting at 1 that I forgot about, guys. But Dak Prescott, a lot of y'all have him as good. I'm seeing a lot of goods. Here's the thing. We know he's not elite, and I don't think he's great. He has great tendencies at times. But Dak has been, his height has been really good. But he's also had some above average moments. And I have to agree with most of y'all. We're going to put Dak Prescott in the good category. He's a good quarterback. This is black. Dak Prescott is a good quarterback. Okay? I have to agree with many of you all. I'm not putting this man above average. He's a good quarterback. But again, y'all going to learn at the end, if you're not in these top 3 categories, elite, great, or really good, in black, I don't think you can win Super Bowl. Now, if you have to at least be above average in purple to win a Super Bowl because your ceiling is really good. This is where we are right now, all right? Sorry to cut this short, y'all. I'm going to come back to y'all later and keep it going. But right now I got a 1 o'clock and I got to make sure I'm on time for that. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to this stream. I appreciate the love and support as always. You got Brock Purdy in the same category as Russell Wilson. Yeah, I mean, as of right now. I mean, if I go out in one game and I ball out in that one game, like, imagine me going to play one game and I have 600 yards, 7 touchdowns. I will put my name in elite. That's what my career has been so far. And Brock Purdy, if you go look at his career so far, he's a really good quarterback. Now it's early, which means he could easily be moved down or move up. But as of right now for his career, he has been a really good quarterback. And so has Russell Wilson. What Brock Purdy did this year ain't no less than what Russell Wilson did at his height, to be honest with you. What Brock Purdy did in his 6 whatever games ain't no less than what Russell Wilson did in Seattle at his best. So, yeah, this is for your career, but at the same token, Brock Purdy can move up or down much quicker. Gotta go, y'all. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Fins up no matter what.